Supply path optimization, it's looking at who's in the supply path and what value they offer. Typically, it's been very opaque, but recently both sides of the industry have been really invested into it to seeing what efficiencies can be gained from optimizing. So many CTV platforms, as you would know, have a slate. That's an unfilled placeholder saying we're back in 2 minutes, we're in an ad break now. And this is a key indicator that parts of the supply path aren't working. I mean, it's an ad break. Advertisers would love to be advertising there. So my recommendations on SPO for broadcasters: get your log files, work with real-time live data. You only get one chance to monetize the Super Bowl halftime break a year. So the more informed you are on partners and performance, the better off you'll be. For advertisers, my recommendation is speak with the publishers, particularly the ones that are working well, alongside the live data and log levels. Find out who they're working with and encourage other publishers to do the same. But remembering that consolidating to a single player isn't always the answer. If the user experience is terrible, targeting isn't working, or as a publisher, it results in unfilled ads or selling inventory for less than it's worth. Yeah, the big trends that we're seeing in APAC are device penetration, CTV products in each market, and advertiser budgets. So expanding across Indonesia and India, we're seeing CTV really trying to emerge, but the critical mass is still so much on mobile. And this is relatively consistent across a lot of other SEA countries, particularly computer markets with, patchy 4G. Consumers that have a 30, 60-minute commute, download content and prefer to watch it in that way rather than at home sometimes. In Australia, we're seeing fast really picking up. Here, the main broadcasters and manufacturing are almost all offering fast services, sometimes aligning with their global subsidiaries to give additional inventory and reach by aligning with passion points, so the Baywatch channel or Better Homes and Gardens channels, but definitely fast is on the rise. We're also seeing budgets flow in from other platforms, mainly social and linear TV, and it's these social budgets which are bringing a new breed of advertisers, new TV advertisers going onto the big screen for the first time, which has really replenished some of the softer upfront commitments that the broadcasters have suffered from. Indonesia is the only market we're seeing which doesn't follow this trend, where the audiences have flowed onto CTV, to a degree, but the advertiser budgets have not. So that'll be a really interesting one for us to follow. Across APAC, I don't think we've hit critical mass for a few reasons. So you've got growing markets like Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand, Taiwan, Malaysia, which are getting more and more connected in terms of internet, and the cost of CTV devices is coming down, resulting in audiences shifting from set-top boxes to apps. We're also seeing more and more users spend their downtime at home watching the biggest screen in the house, which is increasingly being delivered via IP instead of via broadcast. On the flip side, where the cost of living is more acute, consumers are reviewing their spend on subscriptions and SVOD, which is also suffering from a slowdown in new content. So free networks, both BVOD, AVOD, and FAST, along with hybrids, will continue to see more users and marketing budgets coming their way. Also, more mature markets like Australia will continue to expand as measurement initiatives show buyers the incremental reach that CTV offers on top of their linear buys. And we've always got markets like the US and UK to look at, to learn from. So either way you look at it, I don't think we're at critical mass yet. Yeah, so optimizing linear TV for buyers, or when transferring to CTV for buyers, there's a lot of brand protections available on CTV. The technologies available today offer competitive separation, category separation, exclusivity, first in pod, last in pod, frequency capping, similar to what you can buy in broadcast. So my advice to buyers is don't accept less than what you need for your brand to make its impact. For sellers, if your technology is not built for CTV, question if it's really giving you the tools that you need to make buyer guarantees and maximize the value of your inventory. This feeds back into the earlier question on SPO, making sure partners in the supply chain are adding value, particularly as Asia has such diverse languages, but watching a content in Bahasa and being served an ad in Tagalog can sometimes lead to a bad viewer experience and a bad advertiser experience. So precautions such as working with a vendor that is able to detect languages and make decisions based on this really helps all parts of the ecosystem. CTV is the biggest screen in the house and the best place to run advertisements that drive results, as proven by multiple studies. My predictions with this in mind are investment and audiences in CTV will continue to grow. I feel as audiences procure new TVs over time, there'll be a move from set-top boxes to CTV apps, so today's app players will have an advantage as viewer habits shift in this direction. There'll also be better user interfaces and operating systems offered by these newer screens, making content more discoverable. My second prediction is that media buyers will become more informed and have the same quality demands on CTV that they have on linear. So those not able to deliver on these demands will see their share decrease to those who can, which is an opportunity for publishers to dynamically price their inventory, gain share, and maximize yield. My last prediction is that local content will become a key pillar for growth. As an example of Korean content, which takes Asian storytelling and mixes it with Hollywood production techniques, this has made content that thrives across APAC and beyond. As the viewer market becomes larger, production leans into technology such as AI dubbing, which is always getting better, and the content becomes better overall. Demand for the content, or similarly high quality local content, will become more and more essential. So those who have invested in local content will have advantages that far outweigh those who haven't.